awkward scars. Do you see this one? Got it from a sniper perched up by Da Nang. Do you see these? Sharks. Thousands of sharks. They came after me after I called them ugly sharks. This one's in the shape of a lady. I got it from kissing the devil in the manner of the French. I did it because the devil dared me to, and my pappy done told me, boy, you always take on the devil's dares. It's how you prove to God you ain't a faggot. I don't have a pappy who tells me things. Obviously, our scars, like accidental tattoos, carry stories that we tell whenever prompted, and because of the storyteller and their personal brushes with varying degrees of danger, each scar will inevitably reflect their keeper's personality. I knew a kid in high school who was cut across the stomach by a bear while he was asleep in his tent. He knew this made him a badass, and then he acted like one, too. My friend Patrick has a keloid scar from when they put in one of those big metal bars the cartilage in his ear because he asked them to do that to him on purpose. Annie, my friend, has a shimmering gash on her forearm from when she fell into irony trying to play a prank on her little sister. Each scar bearer, badass, masochist, prankster, have their stock stories they unfurl whenever prompted, each time they are inquired about these individual imperfections. They are the shamans of their skin, the storytellers of their flesh, walking reminders of the pain their identity's culture has endured. Now, Western Washington University, I present my real scars. See if you can figure out just who I am. See, on my left hand, a tiny slit from 4th grade 4-H carving class, my first and last 4-H carving class. I was trying to make a cowboy hat out of balsa wood and kept slipping, kept cutting my hand. This scar is from when I was too embarrassed to ask for another Band-Aid because after my third, they started making fun of me. See, inside my right hand, a piece of pencil lead. It broke off when I jerked my hand away from my first and last 6th grade friend because he was trying to wipe his boogie on me. See, about my face, chest, and arms, chicken pox craters. I started getting the little poxes on vacation in Orlando, my first and last, and I thought they were zits, so I kept aggressively popping them. Ooh. See, the back of my head, the roof of a bank blew off and landed on me in the passenger seat of a Chevy Suburban. If I hadn't been slouching, I would have had my skull crushed. It was the first and last time I've ever driven in a tornado watch. It was also the first and last time a fucking bank fell on my head. That doesn't happen to anybody. See, the bottom of my right foot. I stepped on a piece of glass while running barefoot in the snow for the first and last time. That was the joke. Run barefoot in the snow. I'm a fucking idiot. See, my right shin. I fell, slipped in wet paint, playing paintball for the first and second to last time, actually. I wanted to go back and make sure that paintball was the absolute worst thing a human being could do with their spare time. Turns out it is. That's all of them, all my inescapable stories, and you probably have a good idea who I am now. But in those 6 little stories I've told 1,000 times, they've been edited to fit tiny narrative arcs, bite-sized stanzas, so I can get through them, so I can represent just who I think I am, so I can pretend to control this pile of fear I call Robbie Q. Telfer. But these aren't the stories I want to carry on my body, and they're not even the whole picture. C, left hand, carving class, never finishes or masters anything. Right palm, pencil lead, no genuine friendships. Face, chest, arms, chicken pox, always making things worse. Back of head, roof of bank, the sport of the gods. Broken glass, fucking stupid. Right shin. I didn't get this scar from paintball. I got it from the doctors who cut my leg open and drained it for an hour and a half because I never healed from the paintball fall internally. And I was awake the whole operation, and I was holding my mother's hand, crying, while Greg, my stepdad, cracked jokes in the corner to keep me conscious. C, left hand, perpetual amateur, right palm, friendless, face, chest, arms, dumbass, back of head, godless, bottom of foot, dumbass, right shin. And I know that Patrick and Annie and you have other scars too, with stories attached that aren't and can't be perfectly resolved or publicly shared. If I could, I would have excellent scars, received as symbols for love lost, for those lost that I need to be reminded of, the impact they've had on my skin and its expansion into this awkward man, that the landscape of my body is exactly what it is because of them. I want to be able to say, oh, do you see this canyon on my back? That's my grandparents in the ground. And do you see where half of my face is missing? That's Rick. And do you see where the other half of my face is missing? That's Greg. How excellent. How accurate. Have you guys seen this nature documentary? It was on again recently, where there are these beluga whales, and they're trapped in the Arctic ice because winter freezes the sea around them, and before they can get out. So in order to survive the season, they have to continually surface for air just to keep a 10-foot hole in the ice from freezing over too, and they're surviving off stored blubber, constantly looping, dozens of them, up and down from the surface. Now, waiting at the opening is this polar bear, and she can see the belugas trapped in their cycle of respiration. So the entire winter, she dives in on top of the whales, digging deep into their beautiful white hydrodynamic backs with her claws, with her teeth, slicing them open, permanently disrupting their perfect, smooth innocence, scarring them, and occasionally plucking them out like albino olives. She can eat a whole whale for days. Grimly, she waits there. And the whales have to keep coming up for air, and she's waiting there, but they have to keep coming up for air. The bear, she tears their backs, but they have to keep coming back to it. I have to say, watching them die makes me a little enraged. I understand why they don't just give up, but only in that way that acceptance becomes its own kind of understanding. The ones who survive get to swim away, but not as fast, not without their white hydrodynamic backs, no longer intact. The bear is fat from their thinned, packed, and scarred, ruined backs, their beautiful, perfect backs. And my scars, my stupid stories, I am stuck with them. The mirror's speakers bleat to me daily, remember, remember, remember. They have to keep coming up for air. I'd like to, so I'm going to. Press the delete key and erase the tails that fill the holes where my skin used to be. Acceptance is understanding. See, left hand, this is my grandparents in the ground now. Right palm, this is Stacy, my friend. Face, chest, arms, this is for you, my friends. Back of head, this is Rick, my brother. Bottom of foot, this is for me. Because I am a fucking idiot sometimes. And I shouldn't forget that. Right shin. This is for Greg, my other father. Half of my face. Stories are deceptions, but if we tell the right ones, then tangible progress in all its forms is possible. I'm only sorry that my scars are not excellent. I promise more awkward accidents. I promise more loss. There will be pieces of me buried and burned, scraped and scorned, and they're reserved for you because winter always comes, and she's up there, and she's hungry too, and counterintuitively, we will keep returning to her for air because we know, we remember what that water feels like rushing through us while our symphony of muscles sings us forward. Hot bullets shot haphazard about those warm summer seas, the seas swirling and tickling the cracks and crannies in our almost perfect skin. We remember, and we will remember what that feels like, and we want it again and again, forever and again. Go back and taunt the bear with your being. Go back with your backs to her. Sing your underwater stories to her, you junkyard ghosts, you broken shamans, you canaries of the sea. Do it for Obama. Do it for Pappy. Do it for yourselves, goddammit. Return, return, delete, return. You will taste excellent to her. Return. For the first time. For the last time.